Mrs. Powell?
That's the one.
She managed to control herself.
Not leaving this lying around, eh?
Why not?
Well, it's good stuff. Don't want to leave it round where everyone can see it. I have heard a rumour that there are a few crooks in this joint, you know.
Thanks.
Margot Gaffney. This your fella? The one you bumped off?
Yeah.
Bloody waste of time blokes are. Wouldn't be half the women in this joint if it wasn't some bloke getting them into strife. Me, for one.
Dougie was all right. He had an accident. He never really got over it.
They got you working?
I said I would. So sitting in here staring at the walls. They said they'd put me in the workshop.
Oh, good. Come and meet the girls.
Okay.
Listen, don't worry if the women come on a bit aggro at first. They're a bit funny when it comes to kids getting raped. I reckon we ought to be grateful to you. With old po-face breathing down your neck so much, she won't look twice at the rest of us.
Thanks. You really know how to make a person feel at home.
Where have you been?
I just conned Mrs. O'Regan into getting something for me out of the pantry.
Oh, what'd you get?
Yeast.
Yeast? How'd you manage that?
I told her we were out of salt.
Oh. Well, I suppose Madam Birdsworth will be brewing up another one of her potions,
Yeah,
huh?
she cooks up a good drop of the old booze, old Lizzie.
Yeah, you can stand the smell.
I bet you won't knock it back.
I wouldn't drink it if it was the last drink on earth. Me and my stomach are good friends. Now, if it was a drop of bourbon or some old moonshine, that'd be a different...
Brian, there's a couple of workmen in the boiler room. I want you to make up a lunch tray and take it down.
Why couldn't Doreen do it? Because Mrs. O'Regan put me on serving duty.
All right then, Doreen? Be back in the lunch bin rooms.
Yes, Mrs. M. Well, thanks for dobbing me in, friend.
Well, that's the last time I'll do you a favour.
What favour? More lousy work?
It's just that talking to a couple of spunky guys doesn't exactly turn me on.
There'll probably be a couple of dags.
But you'll do it anyway, right?
How's it going?
Terrific. Good enough here to write a book.
You know, the more I think about it, the madder I get. Bloody Harry Stanfield is behind this. I know it.
Yeah, wait until this hits the press. It'll make a few people sit up and take notice. Myra likes a good stir. Oh, hello, here's a new face.
This is Bea Smith. She's the boss lady around here. This is Helen Smart, Lorna Young, Pam Jones. This is Carol Lewis.
Oh. I believe you and your husband were responsible for kidnapping Pal's daughter.
Well, I didn't have much choice in the matter.
From what I hear, that kid didn't have much choice about being attacked either.
Well, I couldn't have stopped him. He knocked me out. By the time I came to, it was all over.
Oh, is that why you killed him?
Partly. Dougie was sick. It was getting worse. It's bloody terrible to see someone you love getting that bad. He would have killed the girl. Mel, too. He probably would have killed me.
Wait a minute, you've lost me. Who is the Mel character?
He was the bloke who was...
Shut up, Margot. She is telling the story, not you.
Well, let her tell it. Jeez, you lot are like the bloody cops.
Margot? All right, now for any other moron who wants to know what's going on, I will put you straight. A kid has been hurt. And we are trying to find out if Lewis had anything to do with it. Now, is that clear?
I
said, is that clear?
Yeah.
Right. Now, where were we?
You asked me about Mel. Mel's the other bloke who's been in on it from the start. Well, he was just as worried about the kid as I was. Mel, he's a nice bloke.
Oh, a nice bloke, eh? You on with him too, were you?
No.
Well, he couldn't have been too bloody nice if he shot through and left you holding the bag.
Because I told him to. Look, I know it may sound a bit old-fashioned, and I don't know what it's got to do with the kid, but I really loved Doug.
Yeah, loved him to death.
Well, you can believe me or not, I don't care. I didn't enjoy killing my own husband.
Oh, I did.
I reckon she's fair dinkum, Bea.
Yeah, Margot, and your opinion means everything.
Oh,
but I get the casting vote.
I've got one of the screws after me, and now all the women too.
Yeah. I reckon you got enough on your plate with Pal. Margot, show her how to use the guillotine. You were very sensible to volunteer for work. If I were you, I'd stick with the women in here and make sure you always have an independent witness around.
service.
Not bad, mate. Not bad at all.
Everything all right here?
Yeah, no worries. Well, except we can't seem to find the lead off to the auxiliary drain. It disappears into that wall over there, but we can't check it because the door's locked.
I'll unlock it for you. The tray down, Doreen. Stay here till I come back.
Ah, thanks. You make it?
Yeah. Oh, well, I helped. Food's really bloody... not too good in here.
I tell you what, I'll take you out for a slap-up feed tonight. What do you reckon?
Oh, that'd be lovely. Of course, I'd have to wash my hair. What are you doing here?
Putting new pipes and elements in the boilers.
All of them?
No, only the big ones. We've turned this little fella off.
Oh. Are you getting rid of it?
Oh, eventually, I suppose. But these are ripper little boilers, though.
Yeah, thanks, Mrs. Morris. We'll give you a shout as soon as we finish down here.
Come on, Doreen.
Bye.
See you, love. Thanks for the lunch.
Hey, Helen. I think that's about right. I just want to check a few points. Now, Smart's catering services was all Stanfield's idea, right?
Mm-hmm. He got the idea overseas at some conventions he went to where everything was laid on, and I mean everything. Made my show look like a convent picnic from what he told me.
And everything was charged to Stanfield Industries?
Right. I used to send in an invoice to the accounts department and back came the cheque.
Okay, listen to this. Stanfield gets Smart. There's always been one law for the rich and another for the poor, but not often does a story of corruption and victimisation come to light which is more horrifying than Helen Smart's. Helen has a number of famous and influential friends, one of whom, a Mr. Harry Stanfield, recently decided to turn his back on the world of industry and commerce to try his luck in politics. Never one to gamble without stacking the deck, Mr. Stanfield spent a small fortune buying advertising time to tell everyone what a fine, moral, church-going fellow he is. Helen Smart agrees. He's been a client of hers for years, and Helen makes her living from prostitution.
LB, I don't know about this. If this gets out, my name will be mud. This is something you just don't do, kiss and tell. It's like lagging.
Well, bugger the morality. He didn't think twice about setting you up, and this is the next 12 months of your life we're talking about.
Oh, no, it isn't. This is the rest of my life. If this gets out, then I can forget about going back on the game. They'll cancel my season's ticket. I'm not getting any younger.
Well, do we print it or not?
All right.
You beaut. Mr. Harry Stanfield, here we come.
How'd you go?
He asked me out for dinner tonight.
Oh, well, I hope you said no. You don't want him to think you're cheap.
Wish he was fair dinkum, though. He was a real spunk.
What are they doing down there?
Oh, I don't know. He was raving on about boilers and elements and stuff like that, you know. And they said they had to turn off one of the little boilers. He said it was a good one. It had a decent thermostat or something.
Well, that's terrific, isn't it? I send you down there for a romantic conversation and all you can talk about is boilers. Listen, take this yeast back to Lizzie, will you? I don't want to get caught with it. It's a pity, you know, we can't get to one of those boilers. I think a bit of fiddling with that spare boiler and we could come up with a drop of moonshine that'd rip strips off Lizzie's rock gut.
What do you mean?
Haven't I ever told you about my Uncle Jed? Well, shut my mouth and draw and quarter me. My Uncle Jed used to make the best smash whiskey this side of Arkansas.
If we put the racing column here, it'll fit just right.
Oh, Margot, nobody wants a racing column on the front page.
But we can't fit B's article in, can we?
We'll do a 2-page spill. There's nothing wrong with that.
Look, what about we put Lorna's poem here and Lizzie's gossip column here?
Are you kidding? The bloody poem doesn't even rhyme.
I like it. Anyway, I don't care. I just want this load out and printed up before the screws read it, because then they are going to come down on us like a ton of bricks.
You just want your effort plastered all over it.
Pigs I do. We've got something to say. Let's say it.
Come on, Margot, you've got to admit it's a pretty good headline. Stanfield gets smart.
Do what you like. Come on, Carol, give us a hand. Carol?